Good morning, my fellow travelers on spaceship Earth. It is I, trying to. I'm waiting for everything to fail so that I can log in again. I appreciate all of this special stuff, but the authenticator, my Microsoft authenticator, if you're not actively looking at it, it locks. Once it locks, if something else sends an approval or a request, then it didn't see it. See, now I can type it in. So I have to wait because there's no way to reset your authenticator. And since this sent the request, but the authenticator was locked, it did not receive the request. So you have to wait for this to time out and send another request. You'd think that somebody would have done something about that. You know what I mean? My advising appointment. It doesn't tell me where. Virtual. All right, there we go. So that's what I need to know. Virtual, virtual, virtual. All right. Good morning, Brent. Why do I have a hold? I need to apparently take orientation. And until I do, everything is on hold. New student orientation is the 24th to April 12th. How are you doing this morning? That's tomorrow. Hardworking. Yeah. I am attempting to understand all of the things that I need to do. I've got like all of these different things that need to happen when attending college. So it's the college attending thing. The thing that makes me also aggravated, there's a whole bunch of things that are aggravating me about this. Not the least of which is they make it so that it is not really friendly for people who are neurodivergent. Like you have to go through 12 checks every day, and things like that are really hard for me to do because I will forget one of them somewhere along the line. They'll be like, well, you were supposed to check this thing. And I won't notice it until I go, okay, there are 12 things, there are 15 things, or 25 things, and I need to do every day. And then somewhere along the line, I'll just do a quick, wait a minute, check and count them up and find out that I have been doing 10 of those things for the last 3 weeks. And now I have to figure out which 2 things did I just forget? And how long have I forgotten them? You know, sort of things. That's so rough. So, oh well. Okay, I have a 1 o'clock this afternoon. I can work on this. This is fine. We can make this work. In fact, I should, while I'm still here, look at my appointment schedule. Because this has 3 appointments that are on here, and I probably should put them in my calendar the correct way. because it does not tell me whether these are virtual or not. And that, of course, means that we are trying to figure out all kinds of stuff. Okay, so 1 year. All right. Then all of these are virtual. 28. This is also online. Some of these are requiring me to go into town. Hey Ray, good morning. How are you this morning? Then this one is December 14th. Online. All right. Man. That seems to cover everything. All right, good. Well, then we can back out of the student hub. I'll wait until they give me instructions on that one. I'm doing okay. This morning. Just kind of, there's a lot of stuff going on for college, and I feel like it's a whole bunch of little bits and pieces. Good morning, Jackson. Lots of bits and pieces kind of moving around, and it's just overwhelming. And it's just to get started, and I understand that. And it's not a problem. It's just that as someone who has difficulty tracking multiple different targets at the same time, it is hard for me to track multiple things as they move, and I feel like easy to make mistakes. Just a lot, really easy to make mistakes. Oh well. We'll get going. We'll figure this out. All right. I was in the middle of working on this scene, which I'm not actually, terribly opposed to how well this scene has come out. I do need to make a transition to this last scene. We need to complete this last scene, and I think then we will have just these 2 pages, or these 4 pages, I guess. We will have oh yeah, me too. It's tough because there's a lot of things where you're trying to just track so many of these pieces, and the good news is me writing and drawing my comic book is a good escape. I don't really, it's good for me to use to get out of there. You made your first hardcover. Hey, congratulations. That's awesome. I'm glad to hear that, actually. So I'm glad to hear that somebody's productive today, because I sure don't feel productive today. Not yet. I will. It costs a lot. Yeah. Did you do it through an online service? Like Amazon or something similar? No, for school assignment. What's the topic about? Uh, that's one of those questions that's a technicality. Technically, yes. Technically, I'm in college. Technically, I say technically because I don't start until January 1st or January 4th. Then I start. But since they have accepted me in college, then technically I am in college. Yes. But I just started. Which is cool. Okay, I'm gonna go check my timesheet because I'm supposed to check in on my timesheet every Wednesday or every Monday morning. Make sure it's all there. So yeah, I got accepted at the local college, and I will start as a cultural anthropologist. Graphic design movement history. Oh, yeah. Is that yours? Oh, yeah, that's your book. Oh, that's kind of cool. That's not just kind of cool. That's really cool. I'm glad to see that. Does that mean we've approved it? Crap. Now I need to fix this one too. Okay. I have to. Well, Ray, I'd totally read your book. History of graphic design would be really cool. It fits a lot of the things that I like to study. I like to study how people have changed. I like to study how people work together. I like to study all of those things. Oh, the printing company ruined the first one? Man, that sucks. You know what's an amazing thing, though, about Google Translate and all those translates? It occurs to me that you could send your book to somebody who does not speak your language and just said, hey, could you go through and just clean this up and then run it through Google Translate and then have them go through, because Google Translate would do most of the work, like 80% of the work. And then an editor over here could then translate the rest of it, just clean it up, because Google Translate would be at least enough that you'd understand what it was trying to say. And then you just all you'd have to do is go through and just rewrite the sentence so that it's smooth and makes sense. All right. See, that's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm saying. This doesn't look like the right number of hours. I will send a message to my boss saying, All right. Be nice to her because she's a nice person. Everybody's a nice person. There we go. Ink bleeds. Oh, man. Wait a minute. Like, I think the irony behind that one is that it was a book about graphic design, right? So if the graphic design is all smeared and screwed up, that seems like an ironic thing. Here's your graphic design book. It's all screwed up. And that makes me kind of laugh, actually, in an ironic, sad sort of way. Not centered. I mean, like, who does that? Especially in the 21st century. How can you mess up printing in the 21st century? It's not like we're running Gutenberg presses. You know? Brutal. Okay, I gotta think this through. Well, that's good. It was expensive, but you got it. There is something really cool about holding your work in your hands. Like, it's like the first time I opened one of my comic books here and opened the box and just held my comic book in my hand. You know what I mean? I'll be studying cultural anthropology and I'm going to get a PhD. So I will get a doctor. My name will be Dr. Guy. Cultural anthropology is the study of society, like the study of human society. So I will start with a society that I'm familiar with, Japanese society, as my foreign society to study. But you know how much we talk on this show about people and how all of us think and all of us are sort of tied together, and it doesn't matter what country you're from or what culture you're from. Like, at some point we're all the same, right? And all of that is so fascinating to me. It's so interesting to me. But especially since I read Rutger Bregman's book on humans called Humankind. He wrote a book called Humankind, and his theory is all of us are good by default. Like, we all, our basic function is to take care of one another. And it's all the wars and all of the crime and all of the hate and all of that is a very small part of our culture. And in general, a human will take care of another human. That's the default mode of humans. You have to be convinced to go into bad mode. Your people aren't just bad. And that really made sense to me. It was very that was true. You know what I mean? You hear something and you're like, yes, that's true. Because we've got a lot of babies are evil. Okay, well, except babies. Just saying, babies are kind of evil. Ugh. Um, but but the book was very good and really kind of changed the way I looked at everything. And it was interesting. Once you look at things differently, the world changed. Like I started looking at people differently and treating people differently. And I saw fewer and fewer people who were actually bad. And it's interesting to me. And I wonder how much of that is a bias that we have, or if it's, I wonder. Anyway, I'm really interested in that. And that's what cultural anthropology really is. It's studying people, studying how people work, studying what we've talked about ourselves. Plato, Socrates, Karl Marx, all of the people who've discussed society, culture, things like that. And of course, I'll be studying my second home is always going to be Japan. So I'll be studying that culture a lot. But I think the things that I really want to look at when I'm later on, when I'm in my master's and in my doctorate, is I want to study all of us. Something that has really happened that I think is fascinating. Nope, not aliens, just humans, because you don't know about aliens, right? Your second home is your bed. It's a sleeping. I don't know. I actually slept like 8 hours last night. I was pretty excited. Like, I cut my stream last night short and went to bed and slept all night long. And then got up this morning. I'm like, oh, wow, 8 hours of sleep is good. Because I guess I just hadn't. It's been a long week. I worked the first part of the week. All last week I worked teaching in class. And since I teach, I can't sit down because I walk back and forth and I walk back and forth. Yeah, I saw you getting onto the stream after I had shut the stream off, Brent. So I saw that. But by then I was laying in bed. And so I was like, I'm not getting back up. Sorry. So, but when I teach, I can't sit down. So I have to walk back and forth and back and forth. And so I spent all last week walking. And then this last weekend was Galacticon. And I was a media team on Galacticon. I wasn't tabling. I was doing media. And so that's weird. Are you following me or are you following Can, Brent, on Twitch? Because sometimes just to see what the numbers are like, I turn off Can's side when I start the stream just to see how many people are coming in on mine or how many am I pulling in from Can's side. Anyway, so Ray, to answer your question, okay, that's cool. To answer your question, I am very fascinated about people. And I actually have a theory that's similar to Rutger Bregman's, that we are all, hey, Booma, that we are all by default good people. And so I need to form a better theory. I want to form it and make it better. But I really do think that by default, people are good. And so I will go back and get my doctorate in cultural anthropology, and I will study how people work as a society and how society works and all kinds of cool stuff. And I will probably write books about it and probably be a professor in a college somewhere and teach. And I think that sounds like a good way to finish the rest of my life out. You know what I mean? I've got probably another good 25 years. Um, and then I'm pretty much kind of going to be out of steam. But I think that sounds like a good way to wrap the rest of my career as a human being on this planet out. And part of that plan, by the way, is Bellatrix Rising, because I'm putting my theories in my stories. And I really am also very fascinated about how we convey our culture through stories. Thank you very much. And good luck to you too, Ray. I mean, printing obviously was a problem. I hope you have a better time with that. Absolutely. You can always come over here and visit me someday. It's a nice, I mean, the weather outside right now is kind of getting similar to your home. It's like -4, -4 degrees Celsius. So it's probably a little warm for you, but okay. Actually, I might visit you someday. I love Mongolia. That's a beautiful part of the world. And some awesome history and some really rich culture. So, fits in with sort of my interests. I have always been interested in like the Asian cultures more than the European cultures. I've never been as fascinated by the European cultures. So I love the Asian cultures so much more. I sometimes think I was born in the wrong part of the world because I'm in European culture and not Asian culture. I also think I was born at the wrong time. I should have been born like 200 years from now. More spacefaring. But that's the way it goes. Yeah, I'd come out to Mongolia because that's the best part. I don't like hot. So Mongolia is a good place because like Thailand, we've had a couple of people on our show who were from Thailand and Vietnam. And I'm like, it's a little hot there, a little muggy, a little too much humidity. I'm like, I would love to go visit the culture, and I would hate the temperature. Right? If you may, well, yeah, but who knows? Who knows how the world will roll out, my friend? Who knows how the world will roll out? I might come visit you in 5 years when you happen to cycle back there to visit, or 10 years. But it's like things like I really want to go to Kazakhstan so I can go to Star City, because Baikonur is always has been a place that I want to go. And the Kazakh culture is cool too, but that's closer to that Middle Eastern culture, and I've never really been that interested in the Middle Eastern culture. I mean, I have some interest, but just not as much. You know, there are parts of the world that call you, and then there are parts of the world that don't. I'd fit right in, right? Just go in there, and I'm like, oh wow, this place is a place where I might need to actually wear a jacket. Yep. So that is a thing. I'd do that. I'd totally go out to visit you. I would totally visit our friends in Vietnam and Thailand during the winter. But I think even during the winter, they don't get down below like 10 degrees Celsius ever. Ugh, so brutal. I loved living in Tokyo. I did not like the summers. The summers were so brutal. So amazingly brutal. I am not a very good person in heat. Ew. Probably not in winter there. Get down into the minus 40. I don't know. I might find minus 40 to be kind of nice. Do you know that minus 40 Celsius is almost the same as minus 40 Fahrenheit? I think that's interesting. Fall might be nice. The old Soviet Russian style vehicles are also really cool to me. Like, I mean, like, there are some vehicles where I'm like, well, but like that would be the problem, is I'd keep falling in love with all these little trucks and cars and things like that. And I'd be like, but I need to take these home with me. I need to buy this truck and take it home with me. Because some Russian vehicles are so cool. Yeah, well, again, with the brutalism, we've had that discussion before about brutalism and that style of... There is something elegant about Russian vehicles in its entirety. I'm probably not as attached to it as the K-Tora from Japan. Boy, I can't seem to shake that thought process. I don't want... That's the wrong font. Let's get the right font. U. And then we can come in here and go. You're first person to say I love minus 40. So I only say that because in Denver, it has never really gotten below, say, minus 20 ever in my life. So I've never really experienced minus 40. I might change my life, or might change my mind by hanging out at minus 40. So who knows? But since I've never done it, who knows? It could be interesting. I could like it. Or I might not. Yeah, I know. That is sad. I give lots of props, though, to National Geographic, people like that who have spent a lot of time and effort and risked a lot to photograph a lot of that history before it got destroyed. Especially some of the history in Afghanistan. And the things in Afghanistan that are gone now. But then I think about that a lot too. Like when I'm going through my dad's things and I'm going through my mom's things, it's a small version of that history, right? It's my personal history, it's my family's history. And I go through it over here and I'm doing the same thing. I'm taking a picture. There's an alcohol ban at minus 40. Probably because the alcohols start to freeze. So At some point in time, alcohol will freeze. I don't know what that temperature is, but I'm pretty sure it gets ugly. I find that funny that there's an alcohol ban at -40. Okay, where are we going here? All right, let's see if I can clean some of this dialogue up over here. This is the way I write, guys. Looks like Moment Control sent out a search and rescue team about 9 hours ago. They are looking for that freighter that was headed back to Bellatrix, the Thomas Bregman. Why does this look like this is all in italics? It isn't. Okay. They've been trying to raise the STAR team for the last hour, and they're just getting silence. Oh, yeah. I'm pretty sure that -40 is a serious thing. I mean, I keep thinking about, just as a driving instructor, winterizing a vehicle to work in -40 is a big job, and that's a task. Like making sure a vehicle is ready to drive in -40. I mean, I'm just in my head thinking about what you have to do to ensure that that vehicle does not, in fact, kill itself. Because if you're in -40, you need your vehicle to do its job. You know, it can't. You'd have to have nitrogen in your tires. You'd have to have 100% coolant in the cooling system. See you in a minute, Brent. Even your brake fluid and your steering fluid would have to be a much heavier weight oil. And because at -40, we get to a point where even the petroleum products start to get kind of weird. The fuel would have to be a different type of fuel. Have to be a very high octane. I mean, just thinking about winterizing a vehicle to make it work out there, oof, that's brutal. If you're running electric, the electric vehicles would have to have, the battery would freeze unless you put. There are batteries that you can get that have a different kind of water in them, so that they can still work with the battery water would still work, but it also has a coolant. But the coolant, unfortunately, normal coolant is somewhat flammable. So you don't want to put coolant in batteries unless you want to risk a fire. So it'd have to be a different kind of coolant. It couldn't be an oil, because oil won't do the same thing in a battery. Yeah, this is kind of rough. Solid state batteries might be good. So if they're solid state, that might be fine, because you can't solidify the state of a solid state battery any more than it's already solidified, right? Because the battery would already be solid. So this newest generation of batteries would be better in the cold. So an electric would work a whole lot better. Now, electrics would probably be very good in the super cold, provided that they were running solid states. If they're running lithium ion, you'd have such a battery drain, it'd be brutal. Because you'd keep draining the battery out because of the cold weather. Yeah. I could make something work, but it would take some time. It would take effort. But I could make it do it. It just would be unpleasant. It'd be kind of fun. I don't know, a challenge. Now, minus 38? Yeah. Yeah, but if you go out on the step, Ray, you know it drops down below that, right? I mean, like out on the actual plains. For those poor guys who are in their yurts. I love yurts. People live in yurts. Yurts are cool. Yep. Because lithium ion's not going to make it at that temperature. There is no way lithium ion's going to handle it. So these guys are toast. Yeah. You'd have to put it in your inner pocket, really close to you. So that's not our big problem, sir. This is. Here we go. Okay, so it looks like Moment Control sent out a search and rescue team about 9 hours ago. They were looking for that freighter that was headed back to Bellatrix, the Thomas Bregman. They've been trying to raise the SAR team for the last hour, and they're just getting silence. That SAR team is the whole point of kind of what I was talking about. I don't know. I was making that fighter, and I'm still not happy with it. I feel like it should be something different. I don't know. It feels like the cockpit's too big. Yeah. Food shortages. The cold, man, the cold can be so freaking brutal. It's one of those things that it does fascinate me. Things like really, really, really extreme cold and things like that do interest me, but I also have to be aware that I'm no longer young, and some of these things could kill me if I were to get involved in it. And so, as fascinated as I am, I may never do some of these things. And so, I've got to be careful. I'm not 20 anymore. And so, I have to be careful about what I do. But I'm interested in so many things. Everything is so fascinating, and there's so much stuff out there to see and do and learn about. and people to meet. And you know what I mean? Like, there's so much out there that it's interesting to me. But also, I have to be aware that -40 might be remarkably fatal. And I don't want to die. I still have way too many things to do and learn from. I still have stuff to learn. And I have a comic to write. Otherwise, all of you people will resurrect me from the dead and then kill me again. That's what's going to happen if I don't get my butt in gear. It still bothers me that in the 21st century, you guys are having food shortages. You know what I mean? Jet engines work just fine at -40. They'll work fine. So jet planes should be able to get into your city. You know? Vehicles will run at -40. You need to work on them to get them winterized, but once they're winterized, they're solid and -40, they can run. Put nitrogen in the tires, run all of the. So you shouldn't be having food shortages. It's the 21st century. Nobody should be starving. That's a problem. We make enough food for everybody and the entire planet. There should never be starving people. That's disturbing. There should not be starving people, and there shouldn't be people who are sick. Like healthcare problems. We shouldn't be having healthcare problems too. It's the 21st century. Yeah, you get lukewarm water, don't you? Not like you're going to get hot water. I saw video from, and I can't remember where I saw it from. I want to say I saw it in Japan, because in my head, it's the newscaster was speaking Japanese, but it was about Mongolia, and it was about the north parts of Mongolia, and it was following a family that was trying to, that was preparing for the winter as the winter rolled in, and I remember them lighting the stoves and making sure that everything was running and then sealed in. And yeah, unequal distribution of wealth is not a good thing. What can you do? We can work on it. Keep progressing, keep moving forward. Keep doing the things that we need to do so that everybody can get food. I think that's the biggest thing about being somebody who sees everybody as the same, is that it starts to become really uncomfortable to think about people starving, because you don't want to starve, but everybody else is like sort of your family. All 8 billion people on this planet, they're all your family. Well, they really are. I mean, depending on how far back you want to go, we are all the same family. So, anyway, yeah, I remember this documentary about a Mongolian family way out north, and far north, and far east. So like up there near the where the ice bridge used to be to Alaska. And it was talking about this family, and it was very lovely, but I remember them talking about the bath, like how hard it was to get the bath to get warm and make the bath warm so it didn't freeze everybody, because it was hard to make water hot at that temperature. which I understand. I can totally understand that. Our pipes in this house are on this wall right here. They go through this wall on this side of the house, which is between two buildings. The next house over there's an the air can pass through here. And so it's interesting in the middle of winter, the water, when you turn the hot water on, of course, it's always cold when the hot water starts, but some days you can really feel it's super cold before the hot water gets through there. And you can hear the pipes kind of going ding, 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 ding in the walls because they cooled down quite a bit. And the hot water heater is in the basement. So it has to push the water up into the second story up here onto the second floor to put it through the sink. And you can hear it going bing, 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 bing. It's kind of cool. So what we can do, Ray, is we can keep fighting. Never let that die. Yeah. Well, I'm sure that makes some sense. You adjust to everything. I mean, even if it's a normal thing, you adjust to it. My sink right here, the cold water widget, whatever, has broken, so it drips. So a while back, we turned off the water to the cold water on this sink. It's only hot water. Well, you can still brush your teeth before everything gets scalding hot because you put your toothbrush on, turn off the water. Put your toothpaste on, turn on the water, turn off the water, and then brush your teeth. So you can still do all the things in this sink. You just have to turn on the water and turn off the water quickly before the water heater gets the hot water up here. So you can adjust to anything. That's one of the things that's so amazing about human beings is that we adjust to so many things. In America, of course, we have central air conditioning, right? So the air conditioning unit is set next to our furnace so that you can have hot or cold through the same system. But in Japan, they don't do that. They just have air conditioning units that sit like right here with an outside piece, and then just the AC comes from just right here. And it doesn't cool. You don't have a central air conditioning. It only cools this room, which is cheaper and better for the environment and more efficient, but also means that the house is, this room's cool, but that room's hot, and that room's hot, and that room downstairs is cold, and you get like different things. I got very used to that in Japan. Even though I hate the heat, I'm not good in heat at all. In fact, once it gets above, say, 20 degrees Celsius, I'm starting to get cranky. And once it gets above 30, I'm not outside anymore. I can't deal with above 30. So anything above 30 is just too difficult for me, which is why I was saying I would love to visit Vietnam and Thailand and all of those places, but I have to visit in the winter because there's just no way I could handle temperatures above 30, which is what it is all the time during the summer there. It's like 40 and 45, and it gets like insane. And I'm like, I'm out. out. So the cool thing about my degree is there is an anthropology work study which is for the anthropology students, and it has work study in Japan. So as a student, I'd be able to go back to Japan, which is really where I'd like to go. And really, frankly, I'd be fine just transferring over to Japan. I'd still do this. I just do this from Japan. So there you go. That'd be fun. So, yeah. Ray and I have been talking. Welcome back, Brent. Ray and I have been talking about cold, super cold, and super, super cold. Like minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit / Celsius, because it's about the same temperature. Where Ray is out in Mongolia, so it's super, super cold in the winter. And I'm in my head thinking about how to almost the same hours in Japan. Almost. Right now it's 2:04 a.m. in Japan, so it'd be close. I think I remember that it was flipped -4 to here, and then flipped +4 to there, which makes sense. So you flip AM to PM and then add 4 to go to Japan, and then you take 4 away to come back here. So, and for you it'd be +5 -5. And that's how I remembered what the time was. Which was important because most of my family was over here. But now it's looking like some of my family will be permanently over there, which is a thing. Because a buddy of mine is considering the idea of taking a job in Japan. And he's one of my close buds. So kind of contemplating the idea and the thought. And I'm like, they're not bad. It's not a bad idea. And I'd be closer to you, Ray. I mean, we'd still be quite a ways apart, but I'd be closer to you. I don't know. Like I said, I'd much rather go visit Mongolia than I would say. I don't really have any interest in the Middle East or Europe. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. When I was in Paris, it was a fascinating thing to see. Yeah. Well, you've already got friends here on the show, right? You've got me, you've got Brent, you've got George, my cat. George. Hi, George. How you doing? You coming over here to stick your butt in the camera as usual? You are. Here, let me switch to the main so they can watch you come over here. Come over here. If you want scritches, you have to come over here. Scritch. You have to come over here. You're going to have to come down here. You can be the big face on the side of the camera, though. Wee. Whoop, boop. Whoop, boop. I mean, you're like almost over here, but you're just standing there. Now you're retreating. Weird little animal. Okay. And George is now over there. I don't know what your whole thing was. Did you want scritches or not? I mean, you are propelled by scritches. Yeah, Ray, that's the thing. I love meeting people who are different. And I think that's something that was really interesting about my mom. Because growing up, my mom was interested in different cultures and different people and different things. And that made me be interested in different cultures and different peoples and different things. I'm totally fine with all of the people who are in the same culture. That doesn't bother me, but I'm always interested in the story. what's your story, Ray? What is your life like? That interests me. I'm always interested in that. People live different lives in different places and they do different things. Oh, I'm gonna stand up because I've been sitting too long and I must stretch. You guys probably should get up and stretch too. Everybody needs to get up and stretch. People are interesting. Always interesting. I came over here for something. Oh, I didn't put the microphone back on. I need to put the microphone back on. I went to the convention and we didn't know if we would have a microphone or not. So I took a microphone with me out of my microphone rig, which is fine, but I need to put it back on. So if you guys will indulge me for a minute, I will go get the microphone from downstairs and start breaking all the pieces back in and putting them back together over here. So I'll be right back, because if I don't think about it now, I won't do it. And the next thing I want to do is probably do some Whatnot broadcasts from over there. So we're going to figure that out. So I'll be right back. Hang on. All right, I'm back. This is my Olivia, which is this great device used for broadcasting. You can bolt it down like this, and this top part up here will hold your phone. And it has a light to it, but I think the light's dead now for right now because it just needs to be battery charged. But this is a light right here. It even has a light back here too. But this thing telescopes, so you can actually put your camera mount, and it bends over. But you can put your camera mount up pretty high to record you. Since it's usually holding your phone, this turns sideways. Hard to see because of the glare. But yeah, I love this thing. This is like $40, and I bought it, and I'm like, when I bought it, I was like, I don't know if I'm ever going to use this thing. I'm going to use this thing for so many things. It's kind of funny. Anyway, my Olivia, which we use quite a bit, and the base is weighted. It's got weight in it so that it doesn't fall over and whatever. So all right, let's get the microphone back in here. This microphone belongs over there with this section of whatever. I'm over here on the other side Come through to the other side. What we really need to do is pull this better. Let's mount. There we go. This mount works fine up here. It does not, in fact, work fine down here. Meanwhile, this guy, which you guys can't see because you're over there and I'm over here, but if I were to, oh yeah, we got a lot of interviews. Hang on real quick. There we go. We got a lot of interviews and a lot of things that we did that were cool. Hi. I'm gonna put you like this temporarily. So you can kind of. Why is this so loose? This loose for a reason. I don't know. No, that might actually be kind of cool. So, like this, you can watch me put all this together. So I'm trying to figure out what to do with this guy. There. Move this here. It should go back here. Why are my things out? This. So we did do a lot of good interviews. Had a lot of good interviews that went on. And like that, you there, and you there. So that was kind of cool. We'll talk more about that tonight at Geek Tank. Though, I mean, it's going to be, we had a lot to talk about at Geek Tank. I did get to meet Denise Crosby, and I got to sit there and talk to her, and was remarkably intimidated by Denise Crosby because it was Tasha Yar, and I will always be intimidated by Denise Crosby, I guess. Anyway, but it was cool. Anyway, so that was cool. Maybe what I need to do is mount this camera on this extra arm. That might not be a bad idea. Biggest problem we had with Whatnot before was that I cannot see what's coming off on that monitor. A, and B, I cannot. This is too far away. Aaron really needs to get down close. When we do sketch cards, they're big enough that people can see them. But that's made it difficult to figure out how to mount the camera properly, put the camera in place properly, all kinds of stuff. So there's another arm that I have out here that I can use. And it's plausible that might not be a bad idea. Let's use this arm. This arm is bendable. It kind of works well down low like this. Maybe I can take this arm. Sorry, guys. I know. We're all going to get seasick. Bring a cable, which will be taped to. But maybe bring it out like this might not be a bad idea. Let's turn it here. Nope, not easily. There it is. You really need a pair of needle and these pliers. I really do use hands, but I don't. The hinge here is so loose, though. Okay, this hinge is so loose; it's just easily turned now. Like this. I wish there was a way for me to tighten that hinge. Okay. This is a fun ride. I know you guys are having a lot of fun being all over the place, making you seasick. Sorry. Break on through to the other side. Yeah. Good. Your cat. Well, I can't find the things I'm looking for. And now you guys are stuck looking at the wall there. So maybe I'll come back over here. That's what I'll do. I'll come back over here. So, all right, guys. I'm going to go back to my drawing monitor, and we will continue what we were doing before, which is working on this, because I'm feeling spectacularly come on, let me in. There we go. All right. I should have said, Ray, if you live in France, I'll still visit you. There we go. And I have approved my timesheet. Always good. That'd be like a $600 or $700 paycheck. That not bad. Certainly not bad. So today I'm going to talk a little bit more about doing whatnot with Raphael. Whatnot is a new social media-esque site, which, like I've said before, is sort of eBay meets Twitch, where we do live streams and sell artwork. And I did pretty good on my first outing. I made like $40, $40. But I didn't do it in the most lucrative way. And having thought about it, I was like, I bet you I can come up with better ways to sell things, because I think that there's a sort of a limit, or not a limit. There's a unspoken rule of some sort, which they kind of went by. Yeah, and WHATNOT, whatnot. And what we do is you set up a stream. It was originally, I think, designed for like stores, comic stores, right? So, like, I've got a comic store. I go onto this site and I start a live stream and then go, here's a, issue 433 of Batman. The bidding starts at, $5. Who's going to give me $5? Sort of thing. And then, you kind of do it as a show. So you're kind of doing these shows. But I went out there and I just live drew. So I just went over there and got that's why I'm working on that section over there. I just started doing a live draw and was drawing on the doing sketch cards and taking requests. So I was like, I'm going to take a request, opening the requests, who wants, and the first person that said something, I draw it. So I ended up drawing like Hulk, and I ended up drawing like all kinds of great things. Yeah, that's, like I said, it's eBay mixed with Twitch, right? So you take Twitch and mix it with eBay, and you kind of get what this thing is. And it was live, and it was actually kind of fun. I rather enjoyed it. It was kind of neat. I got to interact with people, and I got to talk to them and stuff. But we were discussing it, and it would be good to have somebody riding shotgun on those. Is what I was noticing. I was thinking there should be somebody riding shotgun, because doing it by myself, it ate a lot of time, because I would draw the drawing, then I'd have to move over to this monitor, type in all of the information on the bid, hit the go button on the, you know what I mean? Like, it's still got some funky problems going with it. So yeah, a moderator would be very useful on those streams. So today, Raph and I are going to get together, and we're going to discuss sort of what we think we can do on this. Can we use it? Can we pivot it? Because I think if we did sketch cards at $15, I could have done 4 in an hour, and that would be still like $60 an hour. That's not bad. I mean, I can't maintain that for 8 hours, but I certainly could do it for an hour or two, maybe twice a week. I will. But yeah, and so I've been kind of looking into that and thinking about that, and kind of going through the idea. I can actually use OBS with it. So it takes my OBS inputs. So that means I can actually use, I can use this one and switch. I even set up a whatnot setup, because they're apparently thin. It's for when you're working on your phone. So I set up this version here, which also has this version of the main camera over there as well. But I need a camera that's over the shoulder so that I can draw better, because it was an uncomfortable angle I was at when I was there. But I set this up like this, so here you can actually see me pretty good. I actually kind of wonder if I can't, if I can't zoom in just a little on this. Maybe get a little bit more like that. There. And that way I don't have to worry too much about it, but I can. And then the biggest problem we had with my last whatnot was it was so far away from that camera that it was difficult for them to watch. They couldn't watch easily because it was just so far away. Everything was so far away. So yeah, I'm thinking that might not be a bad idea. So I already set up this frame to work with whatnot, so that whenever I'm talking to people, we can use this, and then I can switch to my work desk camera, which will show what's going on over there, and then switch back to my whatnot camera. switch back to the big camera here. So, yep. So I'm going to talk to him this afternoon after my 1 o'clock appointment with scholarship people. And then I just bought a whole bunch of shipping things so that I can do all the shipping stuff right away after this thing is over, so that I just finish the stream. Whatnot's cool because it sets up the shipping by itself right there. So when someone wins the bid, it sends the seller shipping labels already pre-set up and pre-organized and everything. And so all I need to do is take the labels, print them out, and stick them on the thing, and then put them in the mail the next morning, which takes about 15 or 20 minutes tops. So with a 2-hour show, we could do quite a bit, I think. And especially if we pre-drew some stuff, some of the more popular things and stuff like that, so that while in between requests, we do a couple of normal bids on some normal things, here's a Spider-Gwen, or whatever. This Spider-Gwen was just made a few minutes ago, and bidding starts at 15. Who's got 15? Because I think requests, they've got this unspoken rule that if you make the request, you're the only one that can bid on it. Which makes sense. I mean, if you requested a picture of, whatever, requested a picture of Hulk, I wouldn't be bad. Yeah, I'm going to make sure. I'm supposed to meet with a buddy of mine for lunch. Make sure that she's I have to send a new message? That seems weird. All right. There we go. Meeting with the school. So, FYI. All right. Urete. So I'm trying to think of how I want to continue doing this, because, of course, the truth of the matter is I absolutely love that design over there, but these 3 monitors are all pointed this way, not that way. I am, yes. Are you going into Whatnot now to figure out how to operate it? That would be a good luck moment for you. I'm being silly. Because it took me a while to figure it out. All right. Fine by me. I will set an alarm. I have these general alarms, and it says general alarm, salute. You know? I have 9 followers, right? That's more than Geek Tank has. Because people liked my live streams. It was kind of cool. Because I was talking and chatting and engaging with them while drawing, which I can do because there are a lot of negatives to neurodivergence, but there's some positives too. And one of them is I am frickin' good at the multitasking and talking while doing a thing. Last chance to save 30% on whatever. Oh, okay. Your order has been processed and sent electronically to the school. Subject. 24 hours. They have 30 days to retrieve it. 10 times during this period. Okay, good. The school wanted my transcripts from all of the previous schools that I have been at. And I'm like, so then I had to send a message into the school district here. And once again, say, hey, can I have a copy of my high school transcripts, please? Which is funny because I graduated from the school district that I currently live in. So I'm living still in the same school district that I was in when I was a teenager and going to school every day. It's the same school district. So that's kind of cool. But on the flip side, sort of, a little difficult, but yeah. Well, if you join, Brent, you can make it an even 10 followers. Look at you. I'm trying to decide whether I should turn that monitor around or hook in the big TV. I have a big TV that sits right there. Maybe I should hook in the big TV. Not opposed to this plan. I wonder if I can get that line over here, though. There's a line over in this side which runs to this TV. This line right here. With a converter. And I'll do it. So, the question then becomes, display board. Well, let's discuss, shall we? Remote control for this TV. And we may have a solution to our problem. Of course, so, entertainingly, entertainingly, I found that my father printed out 6 copies of a picture I sent him of me doing work when I was in Japan. He printed them out, which I think is adorable of him. I don't need them. I have the digital original, but it's awfully cute of him to have done that. I mean, I appreciate my father sometimes. was very proud of me teaching Japan. He thought that was a very proud and worthy task. He also was very pleased because he said, "You were the happiest you ever were when you were teaching." And I was like, "Yeah, I really liked being there. Where's the remote for this TV?" But I was super happy when I was teaching in Japan. And I have always been super happy teaching. You know? I guess I just need to figure out how to turn this guy on. Here, I need to figure this out. Problem is, all of my tiny spaceships are here. This makes this a difficult place to work on things. We'll be on the monkey camera now. Hang on for the monkey camera. It's a cool sight. Monkey camera has frozen. Uh-oh. Huh. Or has it? We don't know. Right. I'm still working on things up here. Because this might be the solution I'm looking for. Might be the solution. Or it might make my life complicated. Hang on real quick, I'm fixing a problem. Right. Nothing. That will tell me more. Top one is power. Oh, it does have juice. Alrighty. Second one down is input. All right. Actually, not as hard as I thought it would be. Got my TV running over on the other side, and it's connected to this side here, which means I now have a TV over there and a camera over here, which means I can put my whatnot on this guy, provided that I figure out how my monitors are set up. So now I have a fourth monitor over there, which is off to the right. No, I don't want it off to the right of that. I want it to well, where do I want it? Like that. That sounds good. That's what we should be doing. Apply. That'll swap everything. All things will get super confused. But it should be, yeah, that's what I want. Why would you do that to me? Oh. Okay. We'll put it back where we found it. Okay. All right. Putting all my monitors back where I found them. Because no matter what, it's still going to be 1, 2, 3, and then 4 over there. So if I were to go like this, and then go like this and say you, and go like this and say whatnot, and see what I've got going on over here. Brent, if you end up buying stuff on there, it's not my fault. I have 10 followers. Did you go on there as BC Kamen? Because I should friend you. Are you willing to be promoted to moderator? Are you willing to do that? Oh, yeah, no. We do that on a different way. We do that a different way. We totally do that a different way. We wouldn't end up that way. Hey, PM me your username. Don't actually put it out here in the... Don't put it out in the open. But PM me your username so that I can look you up on whatnot. Oh. I'm a top poster for Galacticon, which makes some sense. That was a big frickin' con that was not very big, but that's all right. Oh, swapping back and forth between our setups. All right. All right. Kind of going around looking at all these things. Okay. I didn't really. No, it doesn't have that one. Does help you spell it right, guy. There we go. There we go. Now I'm following you. You're following me. I'll make you a friend. Sure, you want to unfollow your friend? No. I definitely want to keep this friend. Do not want to stop using said friend. Yeah. All right, good. So now, if we ever do a live stream and you want to do if you want to ride herd on us, then you can. You can join us and stuff like that, which we may do a live stream this afternoon, depending on how things work. So, have to see how that goes. So, brunch with Anna. I love that I've got that extra monitor running down there, which means now I can see this on that monitor. Let me just put it all the way out there. And it just runs fine. And then when I'm over here, double checking, when I'm over here, I don't actually really need, I'm not going to need, I'm going to need my glasses, but I'm not going to need them. It should be much clearer and easier to see everything over here. There's a live draw stream going on with a couple of people. So I'll be doing that and watching. I don't know if I'll be doing that live draw stream, but we'll see. We'll see. So works rather well. And bring that stream all the way back here. This guy's good. I'm always like intimidated by the other people who are doing stuff. But should show everything looks like it's clear from my selling side, I think. Okay, so one of them already got it. Kind of want to stop, not send anything else until I've gotten all 4 of these settled in. But that's all right. We're cool. We are cool. We have this done. Going to spend the entire day right here at this station. So there's that. Wonder if there's a way I can make a perpetual listing. Like all these cards, I'm like, I don't see anything in here that looks like a sketch card. That's a bummer. All right. I'm trying to figure all this stuff out. Man, I slept a lot last night. I am seriously sleepy. Or was seriously sleepy, I guess. The seller hub. Payouts on ledger. Payouts? Ledger? I don't know. Oh, Yeah, see, I only got $8.48 from my $10 card. So they're yeah, it's fine. It's all good. I will likely do them from home or from the in the evenings, just so that they're not interfering with school stuff. So probably would do it in the hour prior to a show. So like from 8 to 9 or whatever. If I were to do it, it'd probably be 8 to 9 Mountain. That'd be my thought process. So, but I'm going to leave a little early because I've got to go to a brunchin at 11. Oh yeah, there's processing fees and stuff like that. I'm not that worried. Just kind of mentally going through in my head and thinking it through and going, okay, how do I want to do this so that I can avoid making it, working for $5 an hour or whatever. So, all right. Oh man, my back. All right. So there we go. We figured that all out. So I'm going to go ahead and leave about 5 minutes early so that I can get everything prepped before I go to lunch, since I have to be back here at 1 o'clock for a Zoom meeting on doing stuff with money and things. I don't know. Anyway, so I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you guys all have a wonderful day, especially Brent and Ray. I hope you're both out there. Thank you for joining me. I know Brent's out there, but hope Ray's still out there. Thanks for joining me, and I will see you tonight for Geek Tank at 9 o'clock, and then the normal show at 10. And as always, keep your eyes on the stars. Good night.